They called her the coffee girl. Not sergeant, not specialist, just, hey, coffee girl. It's 0500 hours at Fort Astra Command. A maze of glass, steel, and humming servers buried 3 floors underground. Monitors glow blue across a circular room, each screen pulsing with maps, data streams, and live feeds from simulated battle zones. Dozens of officers circle the hub like vultures around a prize, their uniforms crisp, their voices sharp. In the center of it all, Captain Harris, 45, all jawline and medals, is barking orders at a room full of analysts. And standing at the edge, holding a silver thermos and 3 paper cups, is Lieutenant Mara Quinn, the one they never see. "Try not to spill this time," one of the tech sergeants snickers as she passes. Another whispers, "PR quota, sent here that tick the diversity box." Mara hears it all. She doesn't react. She's learned that silence keeps the wolves curious. Her uniform looks ordinary, no badges beyond the basics. Her hair is tied back with precision, but there's something in her eyes. Calm, exacting, and unreadable, like she's cataloging every keystroke in the room. Still to them, she's the errand girl. Just another face assigned to support duties. "Lieutenant," Captain Harris says, without looking up, "let's keep the caffeine flowing. The real soldiers are thinking." A few chuckles ripple through the war room. Mara nods once, her voice even. "Yes, sir." She turns, walking toward the small kitchenette built into the corner of the command deck. Behind her, she can feel their stares, the quiet judgment of men who mistake quiet for weakness. On the main wall, a massive digital map flickers, red icons swarming over blue zones, each blip representing a virtual battalion in the Joint Forces simulation. This exercise isn't just for show. Every branch has eyes on it. Army, Navy, Air Force, even Cyber Command. A single mistake here could echo across real operations overseas. Mara sets down the thermos, eyes glancing to the data stream above the coffee maker. Packet signals, pings, encrypted traffic routes. Most of the officers ignore those feeds. She doesn't. To her, it's the only thing that matters. Hours drag on. Inside the sealed war room, tension grows. The simulated enemy has begun hacking comms, planting false coordinates. A live cyber element, controlled by outside red team operatives, is now infiltrating the blue team systems in real time. But no one notices, not yet. Captain Harris slams a fist on the console. "Why are our drone feeds glitching? Who authorized that new channel?" One of the analysts shrugs. "Probably just packet delay, sir." Mara's eyes flicker to the corner monitor. A string of code flashes. Foreign syntax. Not delay. Insertion. She opens her mouth, then stops. This isn't her lane. Not officially. She pours another cup of coffee. The humiliation comes in waves. When she steps forward to hand a cup to Major Collins, he smirks. "Careful with the cream, sweetheart. We wouldn't want a repeat of last week." Laughter again. Even Harris allows himself a grin. They think she's harmless, invisible, perfect. Mara sets the cup down, then quietly returns to her workstation, a side desk meant for note-taking and logistics. Her fingers hover above the keyboard, not typing, just waiting. On the main screen, the simulated feed shows enemy units encircling a digital outpost. But Mara knows the real battle isn't on the screen. It's inside the signal. A whisper from the comms tech breaks through. "Sir, One of the encrypted links just rerouted to an unknown node. What node? Harris demands. The tech hesitates. Somewhere inside our own firewall. The room falls silent. Screens flicker. Data streams blink red. Who the hell authorized that? Harris barks. Mara's pulse steadies. She knows exactly what that code means. It's a worm, a live red team breach, hidden in the simulation, designed to test every layer of their defense. But the pattern, the signature, it isn't standard military code. It's real. Someone's turned a training exercise into an active infiltration. She watches them scramble, the officers arguing, analysts typing frantically, alarms beginning to flash. And then Harris turns to her. Lieutenant, make yourself useful and fetch the colonel. Or better, get us more coffee before the system crashes. A ripple of laughter, forced this time, uncertain. Mara sets the thermos down. She stands a little straighter. Her voice is quiet, steady. Sir, she says, you might want to look at the subchannel under 19 Echo. He waves her off. We're busy, Lieutenant. Yes, sir, she says. But her eyes don't leave the screen. Because beneath the chaos, beneath the hum of panic and the smell of burnt circuits, she's already tracing the breach line in her mind, watching it creep through the network like smoke through cracks. And she knows what's coming. They don't. Not yet. In the reflection of the glass wall, Mara sees her own silhouette, small, still, dismissed, surrounded by men twice her rank who think they control the room. But in 30 seconds, when the system crashes, when every blue asset blinks off the map, when their simulation turns to chaos, she'll be the only one who can stop it. And for the first time, they'll learn who the coffee girl really is. The first hit comes fast. Coffee girl, Captain Harris says, snapping his fingers like he's calling a waiter. Refill and stay out of the way. Mara looks up from her terminal. The only screen in the room not flashing red. She's tracking the anomaly quietly, watching the worm thread deeper through the simulation servers. Yes, sir, she says. Her voice is neutral, but her hands move with precision, slipping a data stick from her pocket. A black drive marked Unit 415. She palms it under the desk, hidden from sight. Across the room, Major Collins mutters to another officer. She's lucky to even be here. I checked her file. Admin transfer. No combat, no deployments. Just desk work at Langley. Harris laughs. Langley? Probably HR. She's a secretary with rank pins. They don't know that the file is classified, deliberately blank. Mara hears them. She doesn't react. She just stands, refills the captain's mug, and sets it down beside his elbow. He doesn't thank her. He doesn't look at her. He's too busy panicking over a red alert flashing on the main screen. Comlink failure. Node 7 offline. The second hit comes public. Everyone on deck, Harris roars. We're losing uplink to the Pacific drone feed. Who's running diagnostics? An analyst shouts. It's looping through a ghost IP. What ghost? Mara steps forward. Calm. Controlled. If it's ghosting, sir, that means... Harris cuts her off with a scoff. Means nothing that concerns you. Lieutenant, you wouldn't know a ghost node from a pop-up ad. The room laughs again, loud this time. Nervous laughter, the kind that feeds on rank. Mara swallows it down. She could tell him the truth, that the ghost IP isn't simulated. It's Chinese pattern code, using a live backdoor through the exercise servers. But she's under a non-disclosure clause that trumps even rank, so she stays silent. For now. Back to your coffee, Lieutenant. Harris says. You're making the real techs uncomfortable. The chuckles rise again. Even the comms techs join in. Mara returns to her corner. The worm crawls deeper. The third hit lands when everything starts burning. A klaxon blares. Lights flicker red. Screens spiral with static. Every digital map in the room dissolves into black code and foreign characters. Shut it down, Harris bellows. Lock every channel. The analysts panic, typing over one another. Someone yanks a cable. Another screams. We're blind. Harris turns, his fury searching for a scapegoat. You, he barks, pointing at Mara. You were near that auxiliary terminal. Did you plug something in? Mara stares at him, stunned. Sir, Don't sir me, he snaps. Step away from the console. The soldiers nearby tense, uncertain. Collins adds fuel. Told you she wasn't cleared for classified ops. Probably copied files onto a flash drive. A low murmur builds. Spy, liability, outsider. The accusation stings more than the laughter, because once, long ago, those same words ended her father's career. She clenches her jaw, but her tone stays even. Permission to speak, sir? Denied. Respectfully, she continues, if this breach is what I think it is. Enough, Harris cuts her off. You're here because some PR officer thought it looked progressive. You're not here to lecture us on cybersecurity. The room goes quiet. Every eye turns toward her, the outsider, the quota lieutenant. And in that silence, the last of her restraint hardens into something colder. Because on the flickering monitor behind Harris, the worm's signature changes, evolving, rewriting itself into a pattern she's seen only once before. Top secret, Project Halcyon, her old work. And if she's right, it's about to breach every classified comms node in the Western theater. She exhales slowly, eyes steady. Captain, she says, her voice like glass under pressure. You need to pull all systems offline now. He glares. Lieutenant Quinn, if you speak out of turn again, I'll have you escorted out of my command center. Mara nods once, then says, softly, Understood, sir. She steps back, her hands folding behind her. The room hums with tension. Red alarms pulse across the walls. And for the first time, she lets them fail. Because some lessons need proof, not permission. In 60 seconds, the screens will go black. And when they do, she'll stop being the coffee girl. The countdown begins in silence. Not official, not on any clock, but in Mara's head. 10 seconds until the entire simulation collapses. On the main wall, the world map flickers like a dying heart monitor. Lines of code race upward, foreign characters interlacing with English variables. An invasion written in light. Every operator in the command center freezes. Then, blackout. Every monitor dies at once. Every keyboard locks. Even the backup generators stutter. The hum of servers fades to a graveyard quiet. Only the emergency lights remain. Pale red circles glowing on stunned faces. Jesus Christ, Captain Harris breathes. What just happened? Someone whispers. Did we just lose the entire network? Another voice breaks. That wasn't part of the drill, sir. It isn't. Because drills don't overwrite root access. Harris slams a fist on the console. Reboot the grid. Restore uplinks. The techs scramble. Keys clack uselessly. A smell of ozone creeps through the vents. Sir, an analyst cries. We're locked out. Every system shows external control. By who? I don't know. The address loops back to us. Mara steps forward. Captain, she says, calm, even. It's not looping. It's mirroring. He turns sharply. What? The signal isn't bouncing off our server. It's copying our data to another network and feeding it back here. Whoever planted this code is mapping our command protocols in real time. Harris glares. You're guessing. She meets his stare. I don't guess. He opens his mouth, but then the wall screen flashes back to life, glowing blood red with a single string of text. Hello, Astracom. Nice drill. The room goes still. Harris's voice cracks. Trace it, now. The comms techs hammer at their keyboards. No response. One of them swears. Sir, the tracer just got hijacked. It's coming from inside our subnet. Another adds, it's using our encryption keys. Someone cloned the system. Every face in the room turns pale. And quietly, at the back of the room, Mara removes her ID badge, flips it, and slides a microcard from behind it. An unmarked chip. Matte black. No serial number. Lieutenant, what are you doing? Harris snaps. Stopping it, she says simply. She moves to the auxiliary console, the one everyone ignored, and connects the chip. The system rejects it once, twice. Then the lights above flicker, stabilizing. Sir, one of the analysts gasps. She's running a patch. Harris storms over. What authorization gives you? Directive 95 Foxtrot, Mara says, her tone flat, almost mechanical. The name freezes him. Every officer in the room exchanges looks. That directive doesn't exist in open records. What is that? She types, her voice even. It's a counter-intrusion key, classified under Cyber Command Tier 1. The screen flashes. Lines of red code collapse into green. The system pulses once, twice, then stabilizes. Across the board, uplinks restore. The maps blink alive again. Drone feeds reconnect. The red text vanishes, replaced by one word, neutralized. Silence. Pure, suffocating silence. Captain Harris stares at her like he's seeing her for the first time. Lieutenant. Mara doesn't look up from the keyboard. Sir, the breach was real. It wasn't part of the simulation. Someone used our own training exercise to test a live exploit. I contained it before it reached satellite relay. He blinks. You contained it? She nods once. Yes, sir, and traced its signature. She ejects the microcard, sets it on the console. A small insignia is etched into its corner. A silver wolf's head over a line of binary. One of the techs whispers, "Is that Ghost Division?" Another shakes his head. That unit doesn't exist. Mara finally looks up, eyes calm, voice low. It's not supposed to. For 10 full seconds, nobody breathes. The war room hums with the ghost of panic, the smell of burnt circuitry still hanging in the air. Captain Harris stares at the console like it's speaking another language. Around him, analysts whisper fragments. Tier 1 clearance. Ghost Division. That's black budget level. Why would she have that? Mara stands still, calm, composed. Her hands are steady on the edge of the console, her posture relaxed but ready. Then Harris finds his voice. Lieutenant Quinn, I don't know what stunt you think you just pulled, but this operation was my command. It still is, sir, she replies, but you've been compromised. The words hit like a gunshot. He steps forward, jaw tight. Watch yourself. I am, she says evenly, And I'm watching your network feed replicate itself onto a second host right now. The nearest tech swivels in panic. She's right, sir. It's moving again. It's copying to a secure drive in this facility. Everyone freezes. If that's true, then the breach isn't just digital, it's inside. Harris spins to his team. Lock this room down. No one leaves until... A voice interrupts from the mezzanine. Until what, Captain? You accuse each other to death? All heads turn. Standing in the doorway is General Aidan Shaw, Director of Joint Cyber Command. Silver hair, black gloves, the kind of man who could quiet a storm just by walking through it. He surveys the room with cold precision, eyes lingering on Mara last. Which of you is Lieutenant Quinn? She steps forward. Sir. Shaw studies her, expression unreadable. Then to Harris. Explain why your command center was breached during a closed simulation. Harris stammers. We were running diagnostics when this officer. She saved your network. Shaw cuts him off. We were watching. Gasps ripple through the room. Watching, sir? Harris echoes. Shaw nods toward the overhead camera cluster. The Ghost Division was embedded in this exercise. You were the subject. The revelation detonates in the air. Mara turns slightly, her voice still calm. Proof number 2, sir. I isolated the replication source. It's inside this base. Shaw raises an eyebrow. Show me. She inserts the microcard again, fingers dancing across the keys. A 3D projection lights up the room, a lattice of signals and access nodes, pulsing like a heartbeat. At the center, a red spark flares on the upper floor. That's data node Charlie, a tech gasps, but that's restricted to senior officers. Harris pales. That's my office. Mara zooms in. A stream of encrypted data pours from the node, disguised as training telemetry. Proof number 3, she says quietly. The virus didn't come from outside. It was piggybacked through your command credentials, sir. Harris's face drains of color. Shaw studies the feed for a long moment, then looks at Mara. You traced this in under 3 minutes? Yes, sir. The signature was adaptive, but I built its prototype. Shaw tilts his head. You built it? 3 years ago, she says. Under Operation Halcyon. It was supposed to be shelved. A heavy silence settles. No one speaks. Even the hum of the servers seems to fade. General Shaw nods slowly. I believe that qualifies as validation. Then he turns to the stunned captain. Stand down, Harris. You just accused one of my best operatives of being a barista. The room ripples with nervous laughter that dies as quickly as it begins. Harris can't meet her eyes. He just mutters, I didn't know. Mara answers softly. That was the point, sir. Shaw straightens, his voice sharp. Lieutenant Quinn, full debrief in my office at 0900. Effective immediately. Your clearance is reinstated to Omega Black. Congratulations, your cover held. Mara nods once. Yes, General. And as she unplunks the drive, every officer in the room finally understands. A quiet woman who served their coffee had just saved their command and exposed their weakness. The alarms stop. The war room hums again, but softer now, like it knows who's in control. General Shaw stays by the console, hands clasped behind his back. Captain Harris stands rigid, eyes down. The officers who mocked her now stare in silence, their bravado drained, replaced by something closer to awe and shame. Mara unrolls a fiber cable from her pocket, snapping it into the terminal. The breach copy is still running a ghost process, she says quietly. I'm burning it now. Lines of code pour across the wall, a living storm of data collapsing into nothingness. Each command she enters hits like a pulse. Initiate purge, confirm, lock out root. The red glow fades to blue, then white. The last remnants of the worm flicker, resist, and die. A single line remains on the main screen. Containment complete. Operation Halcyon secured. Mara exhales for the first time in hours. Her hands still steady, her gaze sharp. Shaw nods once. You just shut down a level 5 incursion in under 8 minutes. Mara's voice is calm. 7 minutes, 42 seconds. Someone whispers, she memorized the kernel pathways. Another, no one else could have even seen it. Harris steps forward, his pride swallowed whole. Lieutenant Quinn, he begins softly. I owe you an apology. She looks at him, expression unreadable. You don't owe me anything, sir, she says. Just start believing that quiet doesn't mean weak. Shaw turns to the room. Let that be the lesson. Then, to Mara. Report to Ghost Division headquarters tomorrow. Your cover as support staff is terminated. Effective immediately, you're reinstated as Senior Cyber Operations Officer. A faint smile crosses her face. The first all day. Yes, sir. She reaches for her badge, the one still marked Assistant Logistics Officer, and drops it on the desk. The small clink echoes through the entire room. Shaw watches her go. Harris stands frozen. The analysts part as she walks between them, silent, sure, unbothered. At the door, Mara glances back once, her eyes like tempered steel. Next time, Captain, she says, pour your own coffee. Because while you were sipping caffeine, I was saving your command. Morning sunlight cuts through the glass walls of Fort Astra's upper deck. Soft, golden, almost unreal after the chaos of the night before. The command center hums quietly again, but it's different now. The tension is gone. The arrogance, too. Officers straighten when Mara walks past. No one calls her coffee girl. No one smirks. Captain Harris meets her at the exit ramp, cap in hand. Lieutenant. He pauses, then corrects himself. Commander Quinn. The words taste like humility. Mara nods. Thank you, sir. He hesitates. How long were you undercover? She answers simply. Long enough to see who listens and who doesn't. Then she walks on. Outside, the desert sun paints the horizon in gold. Mara adjusts her tactical jacket, now restored with the insignia of Ghost Division, a silver wolf's head gleaming just above her nameplate. It's quiet, peaceful, the kind of silence she's always preferred. General Shaw's voice crackles in her earpiece. Congratulations, Commander. You just saved the backbone of our national grid. I hope you enjoyed your cover. She smiles faintly. Not the best coffee I've ever made, sir. He chuckles. We'll find you a better post. Debrief at 0900. The channel clicks off. Mara glances once at the base behind her. The same men who mocked her, now watching with silent respect. No applause, no ceremony, just truth. Because the real victories don't need fanfare. They leave their mark in quiet, undeniable ways, in every system that still runs, in every soldier who now understands what strength really looks like. She pulls her cap low against the light and walks toward the transport bay, her silhouette framed by the rising sun. Calm, unshaken, unforgettable. If her story hit you, if you've ever been underestimated, ignored, or told you didn't belong, share this video. Because sometimes The quietest person in the room is the one protecting it.